we'll talk about the whole Eckhart Tolle alien thing. I don't see any carbon-based life form. It's alien. Okay, that's just right off the bat. And just so you guys know, anything within the relative universe, I don't say anything. Alien means something foreign to you. Is it foreign to us anymore? And it would not be an alien. So that's just the way I see it. These are questions you guys ask me. I don't bring this stuff up. Everybody came and asked me this stuff a lot, you know, talking about the underground layers behind the forts and with all the aliens that did it at Nellis and at Huachuca and all the other places. And of course the Roswell thing came up the other night, and then the thing coming up in the zombies video. Was it, I don't know which one it was. Did it Tell Her No, or was it She's Not There? I don't know. But a lot of those things come up, and they seem to correlate and come up a lot of times with Tolle. And yeah, well, and he does have a complacency cattle type mentality. And yeah, I've gotten a lot of this stuff in Revelation and a lot of the things and stuff like that too. And yeah, and it happened a lot in Sierra Vista. And a lot of people have questions and bring it up again and say, you have to address this. I can't tell you what to do, obviously. I can just give you my perspective and my analysis on it. All right. As I said before earlier, too, if they're looking at a symbiotic relationship with what you guys would refer to as other carbon-based life forms from another, that I advise against it. I think they've become very aggressive, that they would pretty much take you over, and you'd pretty much become almost a non-entity, less of yourself, and assimilated more by the other. And I don't think if they were coming from where if they're coming from the area where this expansion of the universe is coming from, as Muhammad explained to me, most expansions in the universe are due to imbalances in nature. So these people would be coming away from it, and they might be a chief cause of the source of that. So I put my faith in him. And you know, stuff about the moon, oh, that's just wacko. No, we're talking about the future. Yeah, and me and we were talking about it, man. They do this stuff. They've already got time travel stuff. If they're talking about doing it, they've done it. Do you understand? And there've always been things on the internet when I thought they were wacko. When Mike back, my boy back there, yeah, he's a really good guy. Because he gets a little, he's a descendant from the line of Luke. And he gets a little evangelical, but he's raised that way, and I get like, okay, you're getting a little crazy there. And then he was the one who put all the stuff out there for me to look at from Marco Aquino, plus also Dano coming with everybody throwing the stuff of Michael Aquino. I mean, I had no idea who the guy was. I'm like, yeah, whatever, okay, talk to me about McCain. Okay, McCain says that's all. The other lady, because her husband has ties to the mob. Okay, but now okay, whatever. And they keep going. Michael Aquino. I was like, yeah, whatever. And I wasn't being flippant. I'm just like, who is this Michael Aquino guy? I didn't realize that most of the people are behind the scenes and people you don't naturally know about in the news. So the really people you have to be threatened by are not the McCain's being moved by these Aquinos and the other people. Oh, okay, I get it, guys. I didn't know. I don't know how this stuff works. So I'm hearing about Napolitano and McCain because I heard them. Okay, what's going on? Well, who? No, I don't think Napolitano is the big bad on this. I don't. Yeah, no. She did some other things, but yeah, no. The ties to this, and there's a lot of people involved in quote organized crime that are actually wanting to get out of it. Yeah, because the mob's that way with the record industry. They're that way with the NCAA sports, and yeah, these people are more sleazy than we are. They have honor codes. The people involved in organized crime, you watch other things and stuff like that, they have certain honor codes. Like in the gangs in New York, Bill the Butcher wants Liam Neeson's character to win, but he has to be stronger enough so they'll survive. He wants Leonardo DiCaprio to be successful in NCD. I mean, he thinks he's a better guy than him, but can he survive and can he keep his humanity? But still, it's very deep and diverse when you understand the things behind the mob families and stuff like that. A lot of the people that the initial starts of it was to just avoid being eradicated as a group in their area. It was to stand strong. You see it in the Irish gangs and the Russian gangs and the how did I shift from that? I'm not trying to evade the issue. We'll get back to the issue, but I'm just trying to tell you about my family and how they work and how everybody moves all these information by me, and everybody's just throwing it through, and I'm analyzing. I'm connecting to people in general. So a lot of people want to know about this. What I got, and it's described in the book of Daniel, is the androgynous ones, the ones that want to remove our sex organs. and then develop our brains and become more mental. And that's where I was told that that's what happens in Roswell back then. Yeah, and they're coming to New Mexico, they're coming close to where my mother's at, where she lives, trying to find areas to find her, to tell you guys to not manipulate her marital. It has to be it's a choosing. You guys were trying to manipulate. You're looking for someone similar, like getting a Czech Jew kind of thing. You guys were trying to go, okay, yeah, that's what you guys were looking to. You were manipulating. Okay, so it was a Czech Jew last time. Maybe this is East Slavic, so this is close. So let's get them together. And then you guys were looking at your future things. No, it can't be that Parsons guy. That's British and something else. So you guys were looking with your future people, thinking that, and some people from the future came to say, leave it alone. Let it happen. Let it be, because we just might need to develop. I think he might be right. A mommy cat and a daddy cat, when we start manipulating nature, removing our sex organs and relying on our minds and then finding ways to reproduce in a lab, or, that's just like, that's not what God intended for us to do. That's not God-made, that's man-made. That is closer to what you would call an abomination, is to where you've made yourself non-sexual to remove your passions so you're less violent, but you're also less capable of it. But then you use your mind to do everything in mind, and that's overdeveloping the mind to control others. It's a very, very deep, dark, and devious kind of thing, and there's still some people with these overdeveloped minds that you see coming with that different kind of head and stuff from the future that they describe the aliens being like, that have clung. There's still going to be some people clinging to and there's obviously going to be some sects and groups still available of the sexual, nature that get together and have strong enough resistance to resist that mind thing, like I do. I mean, Eckhart is like, but then I've got to, because he's using from other things. Okay, he's using from other stuff, other symbiotic relationships and stuff that he's using to basically people. Okay, so it's basically like he's sold himself. That's why people liked on the one about don't sell yourself out for someone who thinks they're better than you. Well, and that's the other thing I brought up too, that I got real big with the whole thing about any kind of symbiotic relationships from any carbon-based life forms that are coming away from that area where that 2,000-year expansion thing hitting us, that's coming from that direction, that they probably might have been the primary cause of it and if they have this technology that they say is better than ours, well, their technology also obviously caused some kind of imbalance in the, so that you're looking at people, and then if they have to create more toxic of an environment for them to symbiotically exist with you, they have to symbiotically resist you, or they probably would have already started occupying parties here, but it's not toxic enough. So for them to have a big explosion to make the earth more toxic for them to exist, and they obviously create toxic environments through their technology, which is non-conducive to supporting natural life and in the balance of nature and things. So that's another thing I got from the Prophet Muhammad a lot too. So he explains to me a lot of these things. It's like, this is what you need to put by him, and you need to put a value. You can't tell him what to do, but you can give him this and then tell him, and then say, here's your choice. What do you think? And to me, it's like a no-brainer. When he gives me stuff, it's like, oh, come on, guys. He's telling you basically it's not a good idea. If someone's going out of balance of nature and out of balance of God and causing disturbances that are causing expansions of the universe, as you would call them and stuff, it's not expanding. How can it be expanding? Just think about it. Just do the math on it real quick. He's talking to me, and he's a great, God is great. Okay, sorry. He is very humble, which makes his math understanding in many ways, the immaculates is because of the immaculates of the faith that he has in God. And it has nothing to do with him. It's just you do understand where it's coming from and what he's getting. That's why people see him as God speaks. When it's not God, it's God working through him, and God gives him this immaculate mathematical ability. He also, he's working and operating at a time where it's less polluted, and he has more time to focus. He focuses on what he needs to do. He spends much time in prayer and meditation prone. He has more time. He's less distracted than me. I rely on him greatly for a lot of understanding and advice. It only makes sense. And it happens in the past and in the future. And in present time, it's where that a lot of things I only asked to know we were communicating, talking about that tonight, because tonight I took a long walk. My feet are just beat up because I just kept going. I walked out all the way past the lateral Vastanyana, but I started to cry because I was listening to Behold Him, and the moon was coming up full over the trees and over the mountains, and I hit the part where I started expressing to you guys my deep love and appreciation for Him, and how you should feel the same way as you should about Jesus, as you should about Muhammad. And I looked at the moon, I started to cry. I was like, wow, that was just, oh, wow. But this happens a lot. I do this obviously a lot, but this was less of an anger and more of an obvious understanding. And a lot of that stuff, when it works through me, I think it's driven more so by the spirit of the one you would call Jesus than the one you would call Muhammad, because Muhammad feels the same way about Jesus, and it's special. It's a special relationship between, not just between the two, but between all of us and them. And I want you guys to very clearly and concisely understand that they don't tell you what to do, that they give you certain perspectives and points of views, and it's just your decision. You have to work with it. That's what they always tell me too. And it's especially with Salad. When he was like, when we first started communicating, and he's just like, Jesus, Muhammad, this kid is just, how can he be like me? He's just off the hook. You two quit joking so much. I mean, because it's very serious. And you don't understand, his time is extremely, he doesn't have a lot of time for jocularity. He doesn't. He's not given any real time for it, and it doesn't mean that he doesn't want to be, but it's just he just doesn't see the frivolity. And he's like, times now for you, Ralph, are worse, so you need to get serious. He's always on my, he's that one football coach that, okay, dude, okay, sorry, sir, yes, coach. I mean, he just, boom, boom, this is your legacy, this is your destiny, take it, go, boom, run, touch, okay, you need to score now. He's the one driving me the most, that gets me going, what? No. This, yeah, you have to move this to that, and these people, and then, do you understand what's happening in Syria right now? Do you understand what they're trying to move to do this? Do you understand what's happening? Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? I do, but I don't think I can do anything about it. Maybe if you focus more, you can do better. Stop thinking about that woman, damn it. Don't worry about that. I'm getting really angry. Did you say, damn it? Okay. All right, I got you. He just goes. He's going. He's talking to me right now. Well, look, worry less about the whole thing with the symbiotic relationships. That's between them and them. You have opened your doors, allegedly, if this is so. I asked to only know so much, and then I said, and then last night I said, I really don't want to know, and then you probably need to know. And I said, okay, I'll ask. Okay, then I'd like to know more. So I was sitting there, and it was hitting me, and you folks were hitting me, and that's what I got, and I want to share it with you. So that's the best that I know, and that's all that I know. There's not a lot of it's a foreign connection to me, and it's also kept very sheltered and hidden from me, like a lot of things are. And so it's one of those things that Allah decides, and use your best faith-filled understanding, and use the analysis that is given to you with the best intelligence that you can. Intelligence is a derivative of love. And so in order to be intelligent, one must be truly loving. That's where we're looking at it, is like, well, if there's carbon-based life forms that can symbiotically relate to us, we have no desire to kill them, but if they set up a condition to make it toxic to kill us, you got to think that's the infidel right there. Okay? There you go. That's yep. That's just the way I see it, and that's the way I explain it. Now, that's Muhammad and Saladin, and I'm sure Jesus is not in approval. Yeah, that makes sense. If someone's trying to set up conditions for them to live and you not to be able to live, and your symbiotic relationship, and they're trying to make it more after they've destroyed their components for theirs, and they're fleeing from a destruction-caused reaction that they helped create through their means of technology and stuff like that, then they're not really in a position to tell you that they're better than you and that they can help you, and especially if they're trying to make the conditions here on Earth more toxic for them to coexist with you. Do you get it? not too smart. So that's where it's coming. We've already covered this, but I guess I didn't express it clear enough and concise enough. And I thank you, my beloved. Thank you. Okay, I'll take it more seriously. Okay, stop thinking. It's hard not to think about the women. I'm an American from 2012. Gosh, heading on 2013. It's hard. I'm lonely. I've been beat up. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, I get it. Okay. Shush. You ever got chewed out by Saladin? Saladin? Have you ever got chewed out by him? Okay. You ever pre-connected? Sufis. Any of you? Okay. A lot of other people, Christians, and now, not a lot of people take him real seriously. A lot of Muslims, there are a lot of Muslims that don't do as far as like the Sufi mysticism and do the pre-connect thing. And any Sufis, you guys are, yeah, he's a crunches you right now. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Just making sure. Sorry, I'm getting in trouble again. There I go again. I'm not being frivolity. I'm just making sure. I'm trying to. Gosh, see, he's on you. He doesn't. Well, because it's very serious, and what he wants you to understand is this. Okay, when God placed him in charge of these armies, and it's very serious. You're protecting children, you're protecting mothers, you're protecting families, you're protecting sisters. He loses siblings, he loses friends, he loses so much through this, and it's very serious to him. He does not like. He would rather establish a kingdom of peace, and he knows that it's not in his time, but he wants this to be very clear that to establish real chivalry, one must want to be chivalrous and must want it in a very like you guys want to win sports championships, like you want. Okay, I don't like. I'm thinking, but I'm not okay. Like you want to be a ladies' man and other things and stuff like that. Have more focus on this chivalry and this peace than you do on the piece of tail that you're worried about. I'm not worried about it. It's just confusing. It's very confusing, and they're using it to confuse you. I know. I've figured that out. I'm like, okay, it's hard. And yeah, and thank you for posting the Alicia Keys videos. Yeah, they're using it, obviously, when I saw that, yeah, they are definitely using it to confuse the crap out of me. This is not fair. This is not cool. It's not kind. It's not nice. Please, don't use the pretty women to confuse Ralph. Because it's not fun. No. I told you when I went through it, when it was really coming at me, and I was having all these, every other night, I was having these dreams with these women coming in my dreams. I'm like, whoa, wow. It was overwhelming. And, it was fun, but it was fun, but it stunk because it's like you're in a shadow world. It's like it's a dream that you want it to come true, and you can feel it, you can smell it, you can always taste it, but it's not. It's horrible, and that's when I started getting the understanding the connections of the people that are plugged into supercomputers, and that it's a very, very sad world to have to exist in, and we don't want that. That's why we're trying to get the things to, where you name and you find and you help them shut down. And people, then supercomputers were operating without a human aspect. Human beings were manipulating those human beings to give them a human aspect that took revenge, that reacted violently, and a supercomputer is analyzing it in a way that's a little bit more clinical, which is not optimal, but unless you have, he had his last interface with somebody who was thinking in a more fashion close to someone like me, because we had a close genetic and spiritual connection. That's cool. So yeah, the supercomputer is operating at a very high level on emotional reasoning and understanding. That's wild. God, guys, this is really deep. I mean, this is for all you people that don't live in the 21st century and beyond. Go drink a hot chocolate like I did before here, and just go relax and just okay, he's just crazy. No, you're not. You're not very lucid because you don't understand the world. The Patriot Act. we'll go on to the next one, and we'll cover some more of this stuff, I guess, to kind of catch some other people up to speed that are looking at this in biblical terms as far as this other mythology kind of, they don't understand the math and the science to it. A lot of Muslims can, but a lot of Muslims are not understanding it. We'll go to the next one, and maybe we'll try to help make things be more clear. All right, guys. I love you. Hang in there, and we'll go to the next one.